This video contains content sponsored by John Wilson Blades and MK Blades. Opinions discussed in this video do not reflect the views of John Wilson or MK. Hello and welcome to the skating lesson. I'm Jennifer Kirk.
And I'm Dave Leese, and today we are going to discuss the Canadian Tire Figure Skating
You have to get in that tire.
Tired. Anyway, I have to say, that U.S. Nationals always has like the blue-looking ice, or they did for many years on ABC. I love the little red that they always have, like the red.
Little Canadian red, yeah, the maple.
I love the way the Canadian arena looks every year at Nationals. I also love that you have Coca-Cola cups from the movie theaters in your house, like stockpiled. I don't understand what's going on here.
It's that thing. I get it at the gas station. Or at,
Paula, come on.
Because I like to get ice. I like the crunchy. I don't know. I'm really weird when it comes to my iced tea, as Brian Mueller knows. I need a very specific.
Brian Mueller admitted on Facebook that he and his sister are named after Brian Boitano and Michelle Kwan. Now that
really?
Yeah, his mom is a learn to skate teacher. Gone wrong or gone right. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, talking about going right, Patrick Chan's short program at the Canadian Tire National Championships went very right. But the costume maybe could have done something else. He got a new long program costume, right?
I don't know.
I think so. The one thing I would change though, it has like a weird pleather stripe down the side of the leg, and then only in the back. But it doesn't go around the waist. It's like
it's a belt in the back?
A belt in the back, but it's 2 inches below the waistband of the pants. So it cuts off his line. It's just, if you're going to do it, go all the way around and have it be at your waist.
You know, he's getting ready for 2018, Jenny. He doesn't want to, waste the money on the costumes now.
I'll design your costume for you, Patrick. Just give me a call. But the shirt was better in the long program.
The skating was fantastic.
As was the skating, yes. But I thought it was interesting. We just did our Europeans recap. We're talking about how Hanyu's doing these 3 quads. And Tracy Wilson, whom we love, was saying during the
best commentator ever. But
she's very good. During the long program, he's added in the second triple axel, which he doubled here.
Tracy is so good at being positive, and she knows her audience, because I noticed that Canadian commentary, they're never critical. They're always like cheerleaders, even if someone is going
about Nam's skating skills, which I appreciate
a little bit. But like, if one person's going to beat another, like you never compare them. Yeah. You're just like, well, Osmond catching her in the artistry, but you never says like, sure, artistry could. It's always Osmond catching her in the artistry. A little concerned we didn't see the triple, but I believe and
it's very motherly.
Tone, it's so wonderful. And then at the end, they're having a really serious chat with Tessa and Scott about, well, when did you first knew that Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Poget had what it took to be Canadian champions? And then they're saying, who could, challenge them at the World Championships? Now, if Tracy were on American TV, she would be listing, well, I think the French are going to be contenders, and this one, they're all like, well, I think that Caitlin and Andrew are just competing against themselves. And like, I love Canadian TV. Like, Jenny, it is so like heartwarmingly. I fell asleep 4 times watching it because I have my illness, but I really got through all of it and just had all of the feels. They're so positive. And that guy, Rod Black is his name, his voice is really the encouragement.
Oh, yeah.
And Tracy's like the frosting on top. It's beautiful.
Listen to it, guys. Go back and watch Elaine Chartrand's second triple Lutz when she nails that. How Tracy's so calm and he's so excited. I mean, it's wonderful.
Jenny, they saw a Canadian woman land 2 triple Lutzes. I mean, come on.
Ladies event, and you know why this is? Because there's a rivalry. You need that. You need good women. Because, and we'll talk about it in a little bit, but I really think that Caitlin Osmond, her long program there, any other year, she would have been national champion. But because there are good, strong women who are competing in head-to-head, wanting to beat each other.
And why did Caitlin Osmond lose, Jenny?
What did you...
Because she had 1 sleeve and 1 glove, and you saw ran out of money.
I was ready. I was ready. I actually did write down something that Tracy said, that she can't make one more mistake, and then she goes in, she does a single loop. And I was like, if you're ever going to make a mistake, do a single jump.
You can't upset Tracy Wilson. It's like mom commentating for all of us.
Yeah,
I feel like Tracy Wilson could be in like Country Crock commercials and like making us like breakfast in the morning.
Like one of the women on the Food Network. Like
Tracy, you were my favorite. You know, I mean, come on, Tracy. We love you.
Like if we stayed at her house, like she'd have homemade pancakes every morning for us with like berries, and she probably is nothing like that in my mind.
And she'd be like, Nam, you really do need to work on your skating skills.
And he'd actually listen to her because he cares about her at like a gut level. Like he wants to make her proud.
And you know why the Canadian women were good? Is because Brian Orser was in the Kiss and Cry with the top 2 ladies, and Tracy's like the brain behind that operation and the organizer, like the Marina. Yeah, like Tracy made those Canadian ladies happen. She had enough. And she was like, you're going to train your programs. And you're going to take out that triple axel in Kamikaze,
honey. That was at Skate America, that girl was, we talk about Pogarelaya on a mission. She was on a little mission. But let's go back to the men. Patrick, some mistakes in the long program, some great moments doing the 2 quads. Definitely
great
a step in the right
direction. I like when Patrick skates well. I know people have things with Patrick because of his weight. But
great.
When you see Patrick Chan skate well, it's like... Honey, like, yes. Like,
take my top off, you know? But the thing that I do want you guys to watch, he skates in both directions. And he does it so seamlessly that you're not like, oh, he's doing crossovers the scary way. Like he does crossover the scary way easily, and then he does a mohawk the scary way easily. And then it's like Ashley Wagner, like what?
Did you catch that Tracy let us know that Patrick and his coach fight all the time? She said characters and an interesting relationship between them. Like she let us know like
that there's like some shade between them, but in a very nice.
In such a positive Canadian way. We learned that that's a relationship worth watching. Tracy, why doesn't Patrick have a technical coach, and how do you feel about it?
Yeah, please let us know.
I love that David Wilson too. Yes.
I do too. He does phenomenal programs. Well, Liam Furris making the world team.
Pause, but Cam, she didn't. You know, they were supposed to go to Worlds together.
I know. Yeah, that was tough. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The speed and the flow that he has over the ice is magnificent. And I really like that he...
and are both skaters who are going to the World Championships.
Yes.
It's incredible.
He does need to... great to see him landing a quad. Needs to work on the triple axel a little bit. We saw him do some good ones.
The show must go on, yes.
The show must go on. But he's a very, very nice skater.
Great and fantastic, yeah. But I mean, the quad, the triple axel, he's going to need these at the World Championships.
One little complaint I do have about Tracy, though, when we talk about...
Don't complain about Tracy to me unless we're talking about Pasha Grishuk and the shade she threw in 98. But anyway, continue.
Well, because I'm looking at my notes here. She kept talking about Kevin Reynolds' boot problems, but she never... And then now they've been... Subsequently, they're fixed and he's all okay. But what boot fixed it? Fixed it. What boot fixed it? What fixed it? What is the boot?
Probably Mark Gladwig. I mean,
I was just really interested in for my own. I want to know what boot.
He left nationals at one point. I think it was to fly to Canada. Maybe he flew to Canada to fix boots. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know, but Reynolds, great. I actually think that his
good comeback for him.
Yeah, his skating's improved. The stretch, he still, like Tracy said, needs to push. He and Nam, like, come on, honeys. I know they have those little skinny legs, but like, use that ice. If you can do a quad, you can do crossovers twice as fast as you're doing that.
And I really felt like Tracy was pushing on that Roman Sadovsky when I was watching it. She was like, "Come on, boy."
Yeah, but nice to see Kevin back. I think this year for Nam is kind of a developmental year. Adding in the quads, he jumped.
It's a rough year.
Yeah, I like that he got a new long program costume, but watching his triple axel, the quad toe, and I worry about this. He's such a back jumper that he's going to get an injury to his back, and the technique isn't so sound because he's using his upper body erroneously, in my opinion.
It's the way Nathan Chen jumps, and we all saw what happened there. I think your skating skills have to increase as quickly as your height is increasing for your skating to really work out. And I think that as Nam has gotten taller, the things that we don't like about his skating, the camels, the positions, the posture, it's just become more glaring through the course of the season. I loved his little warm-up run in the alley before he took it, but it was a rough season skate. And I think he works hard, and there's I think there's going to be improvements. I think he will have another day to come, another skate to come, another trip to the Worlds, but I think it's, there are growing pains along the way.
I think this is a blessing for him, though, because now he can take the rest of just stop jumping, I would say, for a month and just work on your spins. Once you get a camel spin, you're not going to lose a camel spin like you may. A quad can come and go just in terms of equipment, body stuff. But really spend the next couple months when everybody's training for Worlds working on those skating skills.
Work with David Wilson. He seems fun.
Yeah, come on. Just really get that, because everything else is going to come when you have those basics a little bit more sound in your skating.
Yeah, I think Nam, for the future, not writing him off at all, as happens. And this is, next year, I think he'll be back and better than ever.
Yes. Well, talking about better than ever, the Canadian women here, better than ever. Elaine Chartrand winning this. So she does Gone with the Wind the way I think Paulina needs to do it. Dress
in a dress.
Yes, in a really gorgeous dress.
Looking glamorous.
With the hair up. Yeah, and just...
get rid of the Adea, honey. But from the ankles up, you look so beautiful.
So beautiful. And even if you're going to stay in those skates, just point your toes.
I don't think the ankle allows it. And that's the thing. They all look like they have clogs on. It's distracting with her. It was distracting. But she was so focused. And I think what's so great about her is also, we talk about this could be her detriment, is that she is a bit of a kamikaze. She skates so fast into everything. But when her technique is on and mind, body, spirit is in alignment, she's on fire. She's fantastic. She could have been in the top 5 U.S. nationals, pushing for any of those positions.
Oh,
yeah. She was great here. It was deserved her win, I thought. Surely. Both, the top 2 ladies were great, but I liked the program. I thought it was nice. I thought it was pretty, and I thought she did a really great job. She fought for the triple in both programs. Wasn't around the second time, but she was in it. Brian Mercer and Tracy Wilson, God's work.
Got them together, yeah, because Daleman was fantastic.
And was Tracy, so are Elaine and Gabby, fighting in practice? Is this like a Jill and Karen? Because they're together at the cricket club. Tracy didn't let us know, but I wanted her to.
They seemed happy, but it was, because last season it was...
Well, they're Canadian. They're probably happy for each other. But,
It's relative. But at last season, we had Daleman on top, Chartrand right behind, and now it's kind of flipped.
Well, even Jillian loves Kirsten Moore-Towers this year. I'm very confused what's going on in Canada.
Well, everybody loves someone who's not their competitor. It's so much easier to love someone when they're the pewter medalist than when they're, in the hunt for your title.
I know. I liked it better when they hated each other. Come on.
Yeah, it makes it more exciting. But Gelman was fantastic in the long program. Her Rosano was a little bit squirrely, but
she is a gritty girl.
Tough. I mean, you talk about Instagram. She posts all her ab photos. Nice little body on that one. And really good polish, good skating. Lori doing her long program. I liked it. I thought she was very good.
A little bit of a leg wrap again, ankle up pretty. My details, but I really appreciated her. But Osmond, disappointed that she's not going to be at Worlds. I have to say, she is a quality skater, but some mistakes here. And
she's always been so inconsistent. And when you have these 2 women doing near clean programs, there's just no room to single a loop or to step out of a sow cow.
But she does have quality skating. I think, we'll see her again for sure. Not her season as well. They were saying that she can't kind of regulate her emotions. They were saying hard on her sleeve. That's a way of saying, you need a good therapist.
Time to get off the birth control. I had to do that. It's hard. Yeah, those hormones. It's hard. Yeah.
I love the way Tracy words everything, though. And, that Veronique Mallet, she was so lovely. And
sweet
skater, yeah. And the dance event here, we need to talk about it. Tessa and Scott really loved the Simon and Garfunkel team in gray. Willette and something, it doesn't think it matters, but we'll see them at Worlds. Basically, they're the Simon and Garfunkel team that copied the Goose, but just moved. They were doing all of the Tessa and Scott moves and the Marina. They copied a little Marilyn Charlie in some spots. Naturally, Tessa and Scott loved them, and I was it's watching someone who clearly has posters of you on there.
We all love our biggest fans.
Yeah, it was so great to me that Tessa and Scott loved them so much. Just when Scott was I'm so nervous to interview you, Elvis Stoico. They do the Canadian, the cornballness so well. I loved all of it, but it was a great time. Piper and Paul.
Better costumes.
The costumes and the black, and I loved it. And I thought that their free dance looked really strong here, well trained.
They're a team that capitalized on disappointment early in the season, not making that final. And this is what NAM needs to do. And really, it seems like they really did work on their skating.
She spent less time on the henna and more time on the skating, and it really worked out for them. I thought that they looked great here. He got his whole facial hair. He's he's a cute boy, but he was looking strange. Skate America, he wasn't doing it for me. He's looking good again.
He's doing it for you now?
Yeah, it was, we're back, You're back, honey, and better than ever. Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Poge doing a really strong job here.
Very strong.
Very strong free dance. I have to think that they're in it for medal. Are they going to push the Shibutanis? Now that America all of a sudden upset our ice dance politics.
I know, now it's who's our front runner, who's the team.
What team?
Yeah. And that was the issue, I think, at Nationals, is you got to pick you don't have to pick a team, but
you have to pick a team.
You kind of have to pick a team.
It's ice dance, honey.
But they're so good, which is upping both of their skating. And
so good. I think Caitlin and Andrew looked really strong here, and they're my pick for the North American team on the podium. I think the USFS is going to put all of its
that one lady who likes to message us on Facebook is going to be very happy that you said that.
She should be. I do. I think that, yes, the Shibutanis have the hometown advantage for the Coldplay free dance, but throughout the season, I think Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Poge, I think that they're stronger than the Italians. I do. So that's my pick. I think that they... probably for silver again, but I think that they are in it for sure at this time. Yeah, but let's talk about the pairs. Kirsten Moore-Towers and Michael have really trained hard, and they really trained hard. And it was so funny.
They looked really good.
She's a scary girl, and we were texting a couple weeks ago, and I said, Kirsten, all you have to do is hit that short program and you're going to make it, because she's like, yes, I am a snowballer. And I'm like, yes, you are, Kirsten. Like, the momentum, whatever it goes. They were so trained here. That twist, fluke, mistake was just devastating. To lose 8 points like that off the bat.
But the fact that they came back and did the rest of the program, respect.
So well done.
Yeah, and the long, they did have some errors. And
you had to think, whatever Canadian team didn't make Worlds this year, it was going to be rough. Yeah. Because you have 4
really good world quality.
Top 10, top 12 world level teams, whichever one didn't go, going to sting. And I think last year, Kirsten, I did not think that you were good enough to be at the World Championships. This year, I thought you were fantastic. But the twist in the short and the sows in the long, and couldn't make an error.
Well, and the thing is, Luba and Dylan, she still struggles with the side-by-side jumps. And their short...
And the throw.
Dude. Yeah, I was going to say their short wasn't that great. But in the long, they wanted it. It seemed like they really
when
did
she hits something, she is stunning.
The throws in the long were stunning by her. I
know he likes to be the center of attention with his abs and everything, but stunning girl when she hits it. And they were great here. They really did a good job.
I can't get over his lift position though. Not his upper body, but it's his lower body. And she's so little, and her positions are so great in the air. There should be no reason for him to be arching his back and sticking his butt out. Get your hips underneath you. Get your stomach in, your chest up. But it's very distracting, and he's up on his toes because she's so gorgeous in those positions. They had a really great long program. It was good to see here.
They did. It was great. But Julianne Seguin and Charlie Bilodeau, their coach, who apparently coached Brisser and Eisler, that free skate was fantastic. They really know how to
They turned it around after that first event this season and have been so consistent, really good. So will they ever win? Is it something where do you think there could ever be friction between them and Megan and Eric?
Why do you do this to me, Jenny?
Because
why do you ask me the question? Why don't you say it? I know what you think.
You can ask me the question.
Do you think there could be friction?
I think Megan and Eric this season have opened up the door.
Mm-hmm.
I think not this season there's not going to be any friction, but I think if Julian and Charlie work on certain things like her lift positions, the stretch, have maybe a better long program, I'm not really attached to it. And I don't see Megan and Eric as putting them, the way that they perform this season, they're not in some sort of, room by themselves as the best in the world. I think they all...
Well, the first thing Megan said when their score came up was that it wasn't by that much.
Yeah, they're vulnerable, and I think they know it. And it's not to say that they can't turn that around a 180 and be fantastic at Worlds and the rest of the season, but they've kind of, because of the way they've skated, they've opened up the door this season. And getting, things like, I know they switched the dresses, but if it's one mistake, she's missing the left in the short, he's missing the left long, it just doesn't seem like they're in alignment. And they need to stop worrying. It's when they start to worry.
She originally said that she was just exhausted from 27 years of skating after the free skate, but then I'm like, oh, are you going to take 4 continents off? She's like, no, you have to go to 78.
Yeah, see, it's a little bit of mixed energy. Decide you're great. They're great. And just own it. That's what really won it for them last season, was this conviction that this is our time. We're the best in the world. And they need that again, because that's the intangible factor that sets them apart. Because if they continue...
I agree, they don't have the same energy as last year. Like, I could see them sending Facebook messages out left and right. But I think, you know what, they are a good team. I don't know, I expected them to do a little bit better at Nationals here just because...
It's their hometown. They were so great at Canada.
It's their hometown glory. I don't know. It was a good effort here. Her triple toe has been off. She missed the Lutz in the short. She probably was losing her mind over it. And then in the free skate, he put his hand down. But I expect them to peak later in the season again. But, changes in that free skate as well. To me, a little bit of emotion is still lost in the middle, even though the quads are changed around. If something needs tweaking in the midsection of the program, I think that they could just add some signature choreography move. They have sections where it's really memorable, but something before the toes they need a picture, a moment, photographic.
Yeah, and between the two of them, it seems like they're both wrestling just internally with trying to be like upset with themselves if they miss something, or they're very hard on themselves. And I think if they can just come together and have a moment together, which is what made them so good. You have to, as a pair, you have to have that chemistry between the two of you, and they don't have the romantic chemistry, but if they had more of like us against the world chemistry.
What they need is like a Tamara Moscovita Bereshny Secret Elites where like he's doing a spiral and she's doing an
Ina or something really gorgeous around him. Papadakis, since he's around, had that kind of moment where he's doing the Ina. What was, Dave Lees, from the 2016 Canadian Tire National Championships, your hashtag MK moment of the week?
It has to be Patrick Chan's short program. It was absolutely fantastic here, and it was my hashtag MK moment of the week.
Mine too, and he's wearing MK Phantom Blades. Parabens to him for finally putting it together in a short program this week. What was your hashtag MK moment? Leave us a comment below.
Yeah, and we want to remind you that when your Grand Prix season doesn't go well, get new costumes, put it down on the ice like Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier, hold an edge, and look sexy.
Bye, guys.